Recently, we reviewed the Huawei Mate 9 here on C4 Tech. I for one was really impressed with it. Now the Huawei P10 shares a lot in common with the Mate 9. So is this another great phone from Huawei or is there more to it? Well, let's find out in this video. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you just can't remember, I'm Ash, your host for the day. This is C4 Tech and you're watching our full review of the Huawei P10. Let's get started. As always, let's start with the built-in placements. To the front, on top, we have a notification LED, an 8 megapixel front-facing camera which now gets Leica branding, the earpiece, sensors. Now that's followed by a 5.1-inch display and we've got a sole fingerprint scanner. More on that in a bit. To the back, we've got the same dual camera setup from the Mate 9, the dual tone dual LED flash, a laser assist, Leica branding, and that's followed by the Huawei branding. The matte black finish looks absolutely fantastic here. The power button and the volume rockers are located to the right. The secondary noise cancelling microphone can be found up top. There is a tray to the left. Here you can add a SIM and a micro SD card. There is also a dual SIM variant available. To the bottom we've got the 3.5mm headphone jack, primary microphone, a Type-C port and the speaker. Like I said in my unboxing, the Huawei P10 feels well built, sleek. I found it a little slippery thanks to the metal back and the 7mm thickness, so I ended up using it with the included case for most of my week with it. That said, the P10 does feel premium. Not the most original of designs, I can definitely see shades of the iPhone 7 here, but that doesn't mean the build quality is not excellent. Personally, I love small phones and the P10 is small enough for easy single-handed usage. That's thanks in large to that 5.1-inch display. Now talking about the display, this is a Gorilla Glass 5 covered IPS LCD display with a full HD resolution. There seems to be something really weird with Gorilla Glass 5. With regular use on the Galaxy Note 7, I don't have any issues with the oleophobic coating. But now with both the Huawei P10 and the Oppo F3, which both came with a pre-applied screen protector, removing the screen protectors seemed to mess up the oleophobic coating. The screen is a fingerprint magnet, gets a lot of smudges and fingerprints. It's almost impossible to clean. It might be a small issue to some. If that's the case for you, forget I said anything, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Anyway, the display itself is great, full HD spread over 5.1 inches, resulting in a pixel density of about 430 pixels per inch. The color reproduction is natural, the blacks are very black, especially for a non-AMOLED device. The contrast is excellent and so are the viewing angles. This display is also bright enough so as to not pose any issues outdoors. Now the P10 is not just about the looks. It also has the hardware chops to back up all those looks. Just like the Mate 9, this phone is powered by the high-silicon Kirin 960 SoC. Now that's a combination of 4 high-powered Cortex-A73 cores clocked up to 2.4 GHz each, with 4 low-powered or rather power-efficient Cortex-A53 cores clocked up to 1.8 GHz each, coupled with the top-of-the-line Mali G71MP8 GPU and 4 GB of RAM. There's 64 GB of onboard storage with support for microSD. Now there are two things worth noting here. Number one, the Mali G71, that's the same GPU Samsung's using on the Galaxy S8. Of course, Samsung's using the 20-core version, while Huawei's using the 8-core version. Samsung's gonna be much more powerful, but that's not a knock at the P10 or the Kirin 960. Given that the GPU here is pushing much fewer pixels given the 1080p display, the performance is still quite formidable. The P10 managed to run all game speed through at it with ease, no frame drops or lag, and it even managed to remain cool while doing it. And that brings us to point number 2. The Kirin 960 is built on the 16nm fabrication process, meaning it's quite power efficient and manages to remain cool even under stress. This power efficiency, coupled with the presence of a 3200 mAh battery underneath, results in the P10 delivering great battery life. With my regular kind of usage that involves a couple of hours of calls, some streaming video, Wi-Fi and 4G on all day, Apple Music for 3 to 4 hours, some mild gaming, and even with this kind of usage I had no issues getting through a day on a single charge. The included supercharger also helps to top that battery off real quick if you need to. Now so far we've been talking about what's good with the Huawei P10. Now let's talk about what's amazing. The camera is to the back. This is similar to the camera setup found on the Mate 9. The monochrome sensor is 20 megapixels, and given the RGB sensor just adds color information, you can still shoot full 20 megapixel still images despite the RGB sensor being just 12 megapixels. And the quality here is extremely good. There's an amazing level of detail in these shots. The colors are good. Additionally, when shooting 12 megapixel pictures, you can get a lossless 2x zoom. The quality is excellent. The monochrome sensor means even under low light, despite both sensors having f2.2 lenses, you get a lot more light let in and the images turn out great. Add to this optical image stabilization means the P10 often goes down to 1/4 of a second shutter to get much cleaner images since the ISO levels are kept relatively low thanks to OIS, like I said. The P10 can also shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second, and the advanced 4-in-1 hybrid autofocus means it's extremely quick to focus. OIS makes for stable footage even at 4K, where electronic image stabilization is deactivated. In a related note, just like on the Mate 9, Huawei is using H.265 here, meaning the final video sizes are much smaller than what it is usually. The 8 megapixel front facing camera also gets like a branding now. The quality of the selfies are good, quite detailed. The portrait mode with the depth of field effects is usable, not perfect. I haven't come across any implementation that's been perfect, so I do understand, I guess. Anyway, now moving on to software. The P10 runs on Android 7 Nougat with Huawei's latest Emotion UI or MUI 5.1 on top. MUI 5.1 doesn't come with an app drawer at boot, but you can enable it from the settings menu. It also brings with it its own set of features like screen recording, an ultra power saving mode, a floating dock, and so on. The regular Nougat features like quick switch to quickly jump between two apps, or the split screen function to use two apps side by side are present and accounted for. The fingerprint scanner is extremely fast. You just need to touch it and you're good to go. So talking about the fingerprint scanner, Huawei's included a new trick here. You can turn off the on-screen keys and instead navigate with this one key alone. Tap it for back, press and hold for home, swipe for recent apps, and swipe onto the screen from anywhere else. And while swiping up used to get us now on tap, we now get Google Assistant. So while we lose the IR blaster from the Mate 9, we do get one button navigation here. That's a trade-off, but yeah, that's what it is. Overall though, the user experience here is top-notch. Whether it's using apps, playing games, listening to music, watching videos, or browsing, the P10 is a pleasure to use. It remains cool and snappy throughout. The memory management is quite good as well. Now with that, let's talk price. The Huawei P10 is currently priced at 650 euros in Europe. That's about 46,000 rupees. In my honest opinion, that's a little bit on the higher side. If Huawei can manage to get the P10 to India under the 40,000 rupee mark with dual SIM functionality, of course, then it might be a formidable offering. It looks great, the cameras are excellent, the performance and battery life are also good. Overall, I'd say this is a very well put together device from Huawei, and it gets a big thumbs up from me. Despite the screen smudging issue that irked me a lot. Again, the thumbs up, it comes with a big huge asterisk, or rather a small little asterisk that says conditions apply, and the conditions being if Huawei can price it under 40,000 rupees. Anyway, that's it for my 2 cents on the P10. Do you agree with what I've had to say? If you did or if you didn't, let me know in the comments below. And talking about thumbs up and whatnot, you could also find a small little thumbs up button below. You can click that if you did like the video, or thumbs down if you hated it. But anyway, either way, if you want more videos like this, you can make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. What is that? You've already subscribed? Then you can do this to make sure you get notified each time a new video goes live here on C4E Tech. If you do want to pick a P10 up, I leave direct links in the description below if you want to import it right now, or if it goes on sale in India, then I'll update it with links for India. Use that, helps the channel out. So that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.